Don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know.
So let me get this straight. Donald Trump is too busy being president of the United States to offer due process to persons arrested and sent away. Too busy. Also, there's too many trials to provide due process. And he doesn't even know, Donald Trump, the guy who knows everything, he doesn't even know whether he's required to offer due process. Do we have that straight? Yesterday, Donald Trump sat down in a wide-ranging, roughly 1 hour interview with Kristen Welker from Meet the Press. On the scale of whether she did a good job or bad job, based on her previous performance, it was a good job. Normally, she's pretty terrible. I don't know what it is since Tim Russert. Every single host has been a nightmare on this show. Chuck Todd, now Kristen Welker. It's nonsense. NBC just needs a deeper bench or something. I don't know. But she did a decent job yesterday in this interview, and I want to talk about this particular moment. And it's her asking about due process. Now listen, there are several amendments within the Constitution that talk about due process. The Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment to a degree, the 14th Amendment, all talking about due process. So when the government makes a claim against the citizen, it needs to prove it. And it's through the process of due process that happens. So Donald Trump saying that it would be too many trials to provide due process. That's not just going to stop at persons who are not citizens of this country. It would absolutely apply to us too, citizens of the country as well. I'm going to play this clip, and there are multiple things that I've highlighted here. I've got a Band-Aid on my thumb. I cut my thumb cooking, and now I can't. It doesn't work like my other thumb. So I've bolded some of these statements here that I want to cover, and there are a lot of them that are absolutely batshit crazy coming out of the mouth of the president of the United States. Even for a Donald Trump, he's given up any hope or care at all about appearing like a moron, but also a dictatorial nonsense bringer. And I want to talk about these. So let's play this clip, and then we'll talk about it on the side. If you've already seen the clip, there's a timer, as there always is. You can scroll through until the end, and then let's address some of these points.
And this is the point, sir, about due process. The Constitution says every person, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Why not push to have him come back, present all of that evidence in court, let a judge decide?
Well, I'll leave that to the lawyers, and I'll leave that to the Attorney General of the United States.
But
because they're in it. You have to understand, I'm dealing with Russia and Ukraine. I'm dealing
and we're
with
going to talk
China.
about that.
I'm dealing with Iran. I'm dealing with Rwanda and Congo, who are fighting, and we're trying to get that one straightened out, and I think we have done that. Did a great job. Nobody even talks about it, but I think we're close to doing that. They're looking like they're going to maybe make a peace deal, which would be good. But I'm dealing with a lot of different things. I don't know much about this gentleman other than I hear he's an absolute not good person. And I have very capable legal people, John Sauer, as you know, and all top people. And I have to rely on that to interpret whatever's said by the Supreme Court. Now, with that being said, I have tremendous respect for the Supreme Court. Look, 3 of the people are people I appointed.
Right.
And I have great respect for the Supreme Court. And I would expect that the Attorney General will be doing the right thing.
Your Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, the Fifth Amendment says
I don't know. It seems it might say that, but if you're talking about that, then we'd have to have 1 million or 2 million or 3 million trials. We have thousands of people that are some murderers and some drug dealers and some of the worst people on earth. Some of the worst, most dangerous people on earth. And I was elected to get them the hell out of here, and the courts are holding me from doing it. But
even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know.
You heard that, right? He's too busy. Look, It's hard for me to abide by the Constitution of the United States. It's hard for me to live up to my oath, my sacred vow to support and defend this document, to see that the laws are faithfully executed, and so is the office of the presidency. I'm too busy to do my job correctly, is what he's saying there. Look, I'm dealing with Russia and Ukraine. I'm dealing with Iran. I'm dealing with Rwanda and Congo fighting, and we're trying to get that one straightened out. I'm so busy right now. Immaterial. You are bound by the Constitution. You swore an oath to the Constitution, and the Constitution protects our right to due process. It does not grant the right. It is a natural, God-given, inalienable right under the Constitution of the United States. By virtue of our existence, we have a right to self-defense. We have certain rights to privacy. We have the right to associate with whom we want. We have the right to own firearms, apparently, right? These are God-given rights that the Constitution only protects. It does not grant. The freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, the freedom of religion, right? Apparently not. And Donald Trump is too busy to do that. The other thing is, your Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. With the Fifth Amendment, I don't know. It seems it might say that. It says that. It's interesting when Donald Trump doesn't want to be pinned down on something like this, that I don't know. And any other time, I got words, I've got the best words, I'm so smart, nobody's better than me, only I can fix it, all of this other nonsense. But when he's pinned down and doesn't want to answer the question, all of a sudden, his memory gets spotty. Man, woman, person, TV, can't, where am I, Kristen Welker? Who are you? Why are you asking me questions? And then finally, the too many trials thing. There would be millions, but you're talking about that. Then we'd have to have a million or 2 million or 3 million trials. We have thousands of people that are murderers and some drug dealers and some of the worst people on earth. We have those people who are United States citizens. Are we also not going to offer United States citizens due process, Donald Trump, under your system? And I'll ask the question I asked in a previous video. How do we prove their crimes? How do we prove that they're murderers, thugs, and drug dealers without due process? Without the system by which they are convicted of their crimes and then sentenced appropriately. Without due process, that doesn't happen. We have to take your word for it. We have to take the word of a convicted felon, multi-felonies Donald Trump has been convicted of, 34 felony counts in one case. We're supposed to take his word for it. Someone who was offered due process, granted due process, provided due process, yet he doesn't want anybody else to have it. Yeah. Anyway, what do you think? I invite you to this conversation. Did you notice these moments as well? I hope you did. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Thanks for sticking around today. I appreciate you very much. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. I would appreciate it very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.